And things can be very different as we start off the first match of Luna versus Megd.
Is that the Jiro lock-in for game number 1 against Luna on the Lucian? Okay, so there's the sword that we were talking about that we were expecting to see, and Luna with the blasters on that big hat Lucian that he's been doing so well with. Okay, Megd, can you get a hit in?
Megd actually can't play the game right now. Luna is completely dominating, and he reads the recovery. My God, what a dominant start for Luna here in the beginning of this game.
Okay, well, Megd picked up a weapon and then was gone. Scythe is coming up next. And Luna switches over to the guitars here, gets the sidelight, and it's been relentless so far. Is he sweating? Okay, Megd, can you make it back to the stage here? Now, the thing about Jiro that's different about Val is that high dexterity, low defense on this character, right? So you get a few extra things coming out from the scythe and the sword there, but really there's the low defense is why players tend to stay away from this character. And seeing Megd here on the scythe and the sword is very fascinating indeed.
Funny enough, the person who actually brought this character back in the fold last year that was Luna when he was playing against Jetbean in, I believe, Springs, and then right after that, AO Blue showed up and said, wait, Jiro played kind of well, but this is not what we're used to seeing at all from Megd. It's always high defense or good defense overall. This is a very different take and also way more aggressive of a weapon. We're not used to seeing that with Scythe.
Yeah, D-Light recovery's going to take Megd off the top again. No, barely not enough force so far, but Luna has been in complete control over this matchup. Megd's getting a few hits here or there, but nothing leading to anything that Luna's got to be afraid of. Even that neutral light not coming up with a follow-up right afterwards, and another D-Light would almost certainly take Megd down. Can Megd get the, okay, can't get the gravity cancel D-Light, and that recovery, is that going to be enough? No, just low enough that he can survive.
Just, it like literally frames off of potentially getting knocked out there. Megd is slowly starting, he's finding a lot more hits, but that recovery will make this now a 2-stock lead.
Okay, with this 2-stock lead, we're seeing reasons why that 70% win rate is in favor of Luna over Megd. D-Light down air, goes to the ground pound on the dodge in read, and Megd sends him flying away with an unarmed nair, but he's got to take 1 stock yet before he has to worry about taking this game. D-Light Cider will finally do it, and Luna just takes a step back, goes like, okay. Did pretty well with that first stock.
You know, there's like interesting statistics sometimes you'll see, like if I'm going to reference baseball really quick here with pitchers versus batters, so some of them just have their number is the statement. We're feeling like this is it here. Like Luna has, he just understands what Megd wants. And I think, honestly, that's a big part of why he went with Jiro, because he decided, I need some ridiculously different pick that might trip him up. So far, it's just been Luna reading on all of his openers and his defense.
And I like that you bring that up because sometimes players will just have a character that they pick for a specific problem matchup. And especially if it's a problem player matchup like Luna. The Jiro out here could be definitely what Megd's thinking would be the answer. But so far, Luna has been very difficult to approach. Side air comes through, and even the weaknesses of Lucian are kind of evaporated by the low defense of Jiro, where you can get those knockouts a lot sooner than you would from having such low force on this character.
That's like the 3rd time he's tried to get that D-Light at the ledge too, and Luna just keeps playing just around it. Here we go, finally gets a D-Light. Let's see if he can close this out because he does have him near less stock. Weapon toss away, one good... actually, weapon toss up just to see maybe if he can get him to make a mistake underneath it. I don't know what he's looking for there, but that is not going to happen as we get a 2-stack victory for Luna to start off the set.
Yeah, that recovery was fantastic. Catches Megd trying to land, and Megd kind of looking around being like, all right, that's how that game went. He's very good at adapting mid-set. Luna was kind of just crushing him all in the blasters there. We see that 442 coming up from the blasters. It was like, yes, that like a huge chunk of that 73 guitar damage was just that last recovery towards the end there. So,
like, how do you beat one of the most defensive players? Well, you beat him by outspacing him the entire time with a good defensive weapon at that. He just couldn't find an opener. I'm not too surprised actually to see Demon Island because it gives him a little bit more room to run. But also, if you're going to be continuing with the Jiro here, you might be able to sneak out an early play off a nair off stage with that small ledge.
Yeah, I want to see what the game plan is here from Megd. He's got the sword here, one of his best weapons in my opinion. And Luna has been keeping him away with the blasters. But now that he's got that picked up, he's not immediately in an edge guard scenario, and it's not Brawlhalla where you're going to be losing those stocks at orange. Well, maybe he's still going to be losing the stocks at orange.
It's still Jiro, so.
Yeah. Let's see if anything changes here. Now the site's been picked up, goes in that falling side air, and Luna with the blasters has just been doing phenomenal.
I mean, yeah, I like the fact that Megd looks like he's second-guessing his approaches more often now because he was kind of being pretty linear, but now Luna's chasing it. It's like, okay, you're not committing to moving forward. I see the hop back. Now I'm going to go punish it.
The neutral sig, dipping down, Luna making it look like he was going to land on the ground, but instead goes high with that attack. Megd not taking off the top just yet, and Luna dashing all the way in for that sidelight. Megd gets one little punish on that sidelight himself,
This is the closest Megd's had an opportunity in the game. He was going to go ahead and switch up sides. As he goes him out, does not decide to go for ground pound. Just keeps stage control. Up toss away too. I like this idea because this could be this is going to line up for a D-Light recovery.
I love how Luna's using the side thing on blasters here for the Lucian. It's often what I call like the forbidden move for the character because I feel like it's one of the hardest to land. Like, oh, but the D-Light recovery takes him down. But he's using it in a way like a Fate player would use gravity cancel neutral signature, or Sidra would use the cannonball, right? And I like that because Megd's actually like, he sees that, he's like, I don't want to go out there. I don't care that your dodge is gone.
I mean, that's the biggest thing so far is that he keeps making him second guess his choices. He does finally find a recovery though, and very, very importantly, Taza, he got that stock without taking a massive amount of damage this time. Because the first stock last game, it got speed ran. You can't really say anything about it. But every time he tried to get us, like every time he got a revenge KO, he took so much before falling went away.
Oh, and now dashing forward, gets that in light, goes in. And Luna starting with the guitars, already getting 3 hits. Megd with the neutral air into recovery. Sair can catch the landing. Luna sweats down to the stage. That's a huge amount of damage in Ajax. This could be the first lead for Megd, and I'm starting to see what Megd believes in with the scythe here. Just had to warm up with it a little bit, and especially when he's against Luna's guitars, that might just be what the reason is for the Jiro, which is like, I'm going to shut out the guitars and make it so that you can only play blasters with this pick, because Luna's certainly gotten a lot of wins off of the back of his guitars alone. Yeah,
he does it, like he's trying to make sure that, like, if you're going to whiff guitars in front of me, I'm getting a massive punish out of it. Like Luna now, for the first time, forced to use it.
Downset comes out, tries to get him with the chain. Can't get it, switches over to the sword, D-Light recovery time.
D-Light Sair at the ledge.
No dodge.
Makes a mistake. He goes around it, but Sair comes through for Luna, trying to catch him with an air, but Megd, hey, he's had a lot more control this game too. I mean, this is Megd's home. He's so good on Demon Island overall, usually with the Val, but it's working out well here too for the Jiro's. D-Light recovery is not going to do it just yet.
Oh, needs one more of those coming through. The recovery does catch him with that gravity cancel downlight, and a huge call from Luna that ends up having a huge risk that doesn't pay off. Megd takes him off the top and takes the lead here in game number 2. And the Scythe is really coming online. Neutral light catching Luna in the air. And we have this matchup again where the Scythe versus guitars, where I feel like Megd was doing the best. Luna goes for a dodge away read, and Megd just gets right out of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the biggest question mark I had going into this, wondering why the Scythe was here. But it is actually the one that's gotten the most damage by a long shot. He's going to avoid that recovery play from Luna. Luna trying to catch him once again and push him off stage. He's got him so deep in the red already. Look how hard it's been for him to actually land.
Yeah, and he waits until Luna's about to land before starving that weapon, boxing him away with the neutral lights on the Scythe, doing such a fantastic job. Luna hasn't taken too much damage yet, but I'll tell you what, Megd hasn't taken any. And now Luna disarmed again, finally gets kicked away. Luna's going to go for the edge guard there unarmed and give up the weapon spawn to Megd. Now the Scythe picked up against unarmed. That's probably, I mean, unarmed has a lot of unfavorable matchups, but that's probably one of the most.
Yeah, definitely don't want to be whipping directly in front of Scythe as unarmed. You are not going to have a good time afterwards. And the weapon star was continuing, but he finally gets him. He decides to go for the switch, gets the punish, minimize the damage.
Yeah.
And it's still Demon Island. Yeah. He can get caught at the ledge very easily. Luna's been covering that ledge so well.
Yeah, we're going for those side signatures, the guitar down sigs as well. Could get him early. We haven't seen him do so much, but the D-Light dash jump dare, one of my favorite early combos on blasters. But does it, he tries to go for a gravity cancel neutral light to give him more damage. Double nair, triple nair. Oh, goes for the jump. Doesn't get it, but the D-Lights, no! Misses the side air follow up afterwards. I don't think any jumps left, actually.
Yeah, you know, he was out of jumps. He already burned his double jump on that, but he's still keeping his turn. Like even after that, finally gets a dare reversal and he gets the nair. Megd's still holding lead, but this is one of those games you've been playing with the lead all game. You can't throw this. Like that's why I think he's controlling center a lot. He's trying to look for just the D-Light Sair, D-Light recovery. Keep it simple.
Dashed up weapon throw, D-Light pickup, tried to get the nair after that. Luna is playing really hot right now, but still needs to get a little bit more damage. Megd realizing he's been in this position so many times before. He's like, okay, sword neutral light into D-Light anything, and I've got the win. But D-Light into was that? I mean, D-Light Cider comes through and Luna putting his hands up in frustration there. Those two side sticks coming out. I don't think that's what he wanted.
I'm fairly certain that was a misinput. That or one of the biggest reads we have seen all day, but not necessary at all in that position. And instead of what could have been Luna making his way back through, fighting his way all the way back, it's actually going to be Megd that answers. And a big part of that is that 329 sitting on that site this game.
Yeah, normally you expect that D-Light dash jump recovery there. And we see that moment where he dodges down to the stage, playing too fast for his own good. There's a reason why, despite it looking so easy by a lot of the players that play blasters in top 8, I still get so excited when I see it, because that's a difficult combo to do. Definitely a true combo, but if you mess that up in any way, you could lose your dodge. You could accidentally use a ground pound, a signature, anything like that, and that can lead to you losing the stock in those tense last-minute situations. And we see Megd absolutely punish him for the downlight recovery that may have won him the game.
Yeah, there's been a huge theme of that throughout this whole weekend, in twos and in ones. A lot of late-game drops on what would normally just be a sealed deal. It is. That's what it was leading to, too. It's being on the stage. It plays into you because you don't want to go down in these spots in front of the crowd. And I don't think it's going to affect Luna too much because he did walk away with that reverse 3-0 yesterday, but that one is definitely going to hurt a bit. Yeah,
and Luna's showing that frustration at the end of game number 2. As Megd and the Jiro, I was severely doubting it going into game number 1, but you talked about the possibility that this is a counter pick for Luna so that he can get over this hurdle that is this opponent, this rival that has such a huge winning record over him. And he's got a game off of Luna so far, and he's got a lead in game number 3. And as Luna's on the guitars, I'm realizing I think Megd's got this specifically to shut down Luna's guitars. They have not been doing a lot.
That's huge because, like you said before, the Luna's guitars are a majority of why he's been having so much success of late. Like, the Blaster's been on point, but the guitars have been tearing people up. And this seems Megd's put a lot of time in the lab to figure this out.
Yeah, and they might be on point, but I mean, if you're dropping D-Line recovery against the pressure from Megd, you've got a problem. D-Line side air as Luna sweat off the side of the stage means Luna has no idea how to get back on it here on Demon Island. When the wall's that small, it's difficult to avoid a downlight. It reaches over the edge, your head slips up even a bit, and with that big hat from Lucian, it doesn't actually change anything. But maybe you get caught.
Got a big old head. But like, one of the things that's very interesting too is we were talking earlier about player body language at the cameras, right?
Yeah.
I have not seen much emotion out of Megd over these last 2 games. He is locked in, where Luna has been kind of shimmying around in his chair a little bit, trying to get amped back up. So that's really good because for somebody who has such a good set history against you, you need some confidence. It feels like Megd's found it.
Yeah, Luna's definitely a very animated player on win or on loss, and Megd has got that concentration. Oh, the stuff recovery effects that's hit. Luna adjusting his headset after that one. This is a 3-stock to 1 lead. Ajax, we went from like a near 3-stock in game 1 of Brawlhalla to going to Demon Island, and this Jiro is unstoppable. And this is a 3-defense legend, right? So the trade-off from, you know, having to never get hit in a game like Brawlhalla is that you got so much stats in the force and the movement speed into Dex. That D-Light recovery not dropped this time, but too little too late at this point. Luna's got to be able to do that 2 more times.
Yeah, he has to have a dominant stock, get himself back into this, and I will say this, no matter how this game goes, I don't think there's a world where we see Demon Island again. Megd is phenomenal on this stage, and he's looking like he might win twice back-to-back on it. I'd be very surprised to see us go back here.
And what's crazy about this as he gets that neutral light is that this is a stat counter pick, right? You're going for the stat line of the sword and scythe because Megd has not been signature heavy. No. We saw 1 down sig on scythe, it didn't connect, and then he was like, okay, I'm done trying that. Yep. It has been purely being played by the neutral game here from Megd that Luna is struggling to break into. I thought we had the code cracked in game number 1, but it turns out that Megd was actually just warming up.
Yeah, and that's the last few times he's been caught with D-Light Sarah over on the side there too, so he knew Luna was going to jump up. He tried to get him with a straight up Sarah. He might make it happen. His sword is back in hand. Luna does not have many mistakes left as he's behind the whole stock.
He's down 2 jumps. He's got a recovery here. Gravity cancel neutral light. Perfect edge guard there coming up for Megd. And that edge guard came from the fact that Megd's counting and watching those jumps, being like, well, you've got your dodge and you've got your recovery, and I could cover all of that by just standing in front of the side of the wall and using a gravity cancel sword neutral light. Those edge guards are very popular by sword mains, and Megd's one of the best at doing it.
I can't stress enough that no matter how many times we talk about stats, when you are in the building on the stage, stats be damned. Because sometimes things just turn out this way, and he's up 2-1, potentially knocking out our #1 overall seed at 7th place.
Well, and I think you just hit the nail on the head in game 1, which is that after 19 losses to Luna, Megd might be like, okay, I've got to bring out something specifically to beat this player, because if I'm beating everybody else, but when I run into Luna, I don't get the championship win, I have to devise a strategy specifically for fighting against this. And that means he throws the gauntlets out the window, gets a way more read-heavy weapon so he can basically manipulate where Luna is on the stage. And now we've got himself in a 2-1 lead with a character that we've seen very few players actually pick and have success with. And he went into game 1 with a Jiro. He didn't even wait for the Val to fail.
This is the very first time we've seen the Jiro out of Megd. This is a specific to player option that he is doing right now. And you need to think about these things when you go into big set histories that you just don't have a solution to. Maybe the weapons are just not going to work for you. Like you said, no gauntlets in this position. He hasn't been able to open them up. And the fact that the scythe has been working so well to the point that he's afraid to even approach sword now at the end because he's putting out the damage so quickly. You can't. I don't think that there's a world again where we see Demon Island or a flat stage. It's got to have like you got to have a soft platform to get away from him at this point.
I wonder if Luna is thinking about the counter pick here with the character that he has. We know that Luna has a really large legend roster, and I'm convinced at this point. Like I was suspicious about it. I'm convinced. he is shutting out Luna's guitars with the Jiro pick.
Yep.
The guitars aren't doing anything. When he tries to make something happen, he gets like 4 hits and then loses his stock. The blasters are doing a lot of work, but they're not doing enough to get the win. And when you're off of Brawlhalla, Lucian just does not have the damage that he needs to be able to take out a character, even with as low defense as Jiro, because I know he's on that 3 defense because Megd's running default stance.
Yep.
So he's not able to knock out this character, which is what makes this counter pick is so brilliant about it, because it's like both a counter pick for Luna and for the fact that he's like, wait a second, you're on a 3-force legend? I don't have to care about defense in this matchup. You're going to be knocking me out at the same rate no matter what.
Yeah, it's an irrelevant fact. I don't care about that at this point. And I don't think I actually saw a legend switch. It looks like Luna was just taking his time to try and recoup. I mean, that's a good thing to do when you're on this position as well. Stop, take a breather.
He didn't switch to legend, but he did ban Demon Island first.
That's 100% expected. 100% expected entirely. If you go back, you're essentially selling. I don't think it's a good idea at this point. Megd has shown he has complete dominance on that stage. You can't get by him on ledge anymore. And the most important part is he is outspacing him the whole match. When he was on Brawlhalla, he couldn't outspace Luna at all.
Yeah, and so now, to the sounds of Apocalypse, it is. Here we are for game number 4, match point. Megd wins this. He gets his 10th win over Luna. It's going to be a bit before he gets that winning record reverse.
It's going to be a pretty important one.
That means that he's solved something that's going to force Luna to have to play differently against him if he gets this win. Let's see what Luna can do, because this is the last game, potentially, of the entire tournament that he has to adapt.
Like we said, the #1 seed currently looking at the elimination of bracket, period. Not just the elimination side of bracket, but being out entirely from Dreamhack San Diego, but he was put in a position similar to this yesterday. He had to go up against Godly, and he was able to reverse 3-0. Even with as good as Megd is playing, you have to consider that was a good pause that he had. Kind of maybe reminding himself, I'm nice with it, I'm that guy, and I could do this.
And we are seeing a really heavy focus here onto the blasters. Does he get the new, yes, he does get the fresh pair. Yeah, okay, he does switch over to it eventually. Getting the fresh pair that spawned there had him primed. When he picked up the guitars, he threw them away immediately. Didn't even try to combo off of them. He's like, okay, I won game 1 by being really sick with the blasters.
Yep.
And that's what's happening here in game 2, is he opened up that first stock in under 30 seconds with Megd flying off the board.
Yeah, this is the win condition right now. The guitars are not it. The blasters need to be back on point as he gets multiple nairs, continuing to chase him, looking for a dare off the soft platform to maybe get a reset into some bigger damage.
Does the platform on the map matter that much? Megd's so good. Oh, he puts up the first down stick that we ever see in the game and just immediately gets nared for it. Dare to recovery? No, because he waited out Luna's wake up down air, gets a nice punish from it, but it still hasn't gotten the stock.
Now we're going to get guitars back in hand. At this point, you don't have to worry too much about actually playing guitars heavy. You just need one good recovery play. Or that, and he's not going to get the closeout just yet. But Web toss away, looking for a closeout, and he misses once again. He cannot get the second stock, but it doesn't matter. He's already so up in the lead.
Yeah, Megd tries to go in for a pivot there on something. I didn't see what the move was because Luna ends up staring him away. Gets the down air, weapon throw for good measure, but doesn't even need it. It's now 3 stocks to 1, and after a little bit of a breather, Luna is destroying Megd here in game number 4.
And remember what I said before? I've seen like no emotion really come out of Megd's face. That second stock, I saw a lot of emotion. It's like, there's no shot this is going down this way, right? Well, he's going to get to D-Light recovery. He's going to get himself down to at least one more stock. But we haven't seen him have a really dominant stock that's like a 0 to KO yet. He's going to need to pull that out.
I mean, we had that one stock in game 3, I think, or game 2, where he got the stuff recovery effects at the ground on the side of the stage. But it's going to take Luna having a huge blunder there to make that work. Maybe happens to the guitars. Oh, the Nair could catch him. Goes up for the recovery. He actually gets caught. Double Nair. Megd sweating, can't make it to the stage. He throws that weapon up into the sky and just dive kicks down to the bottom of the stage. It's game 5, Ajax.
That is a champion mentality right there, to be able to recoup after going down 2-1 in the set. You were getting figured out a lot, but you know that you have beaten him before. You know that you can get the job done, and he started it off hot. He never took his foot off the gas pedal, Taza, and now we are in what we kind of hope to see throughout top 8 all the time, that game 5 to see who moves forward.
And now I wonder what stages Megd's going to take off the board here. Almost certainly going to leave Demon Island open, but I wonder if he's going to leave Brawlhalla open with how that happened in game number 1. Because like the flat stages seem to be better for him. It's just going to be a very interesting counterpick war, because that last stock there, very low damaging overall, because Megd was going for such a risk to take down Luna's stock. And we saw how long that first stock lasted. I mean, Luna went a stock and a half before even getting touched again.
I think we're going to end up back on Apocalypse, because I think he's going to try to guide him to Demon Island.
Whoa.
But
he's got to leave it open.
I don't know if he wants to fight him on Brawlhalla. I don't know if after that first game he's going to want to do
Temple
it.
pick, it's been on stream today.
We have seen it. It has been on stream.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, I'd be here for it if we do see it. I'm very curious to see why that'd be the play, but we're going to find out right now. It is game number 5, and it's going to be the Fortress of Lions, which actually makes some sense as well because slightly wider stage, you don't have to worry so much about Apocalypse, but also nobody's sneaking out underneath, so maybe he tries to go a little bit more aggressive off stage.
They haven't had too many offstage interactions like that quite yet, but this could be a blessing in disguise here with Luna opening up the guitars, even though he's getting all of his hits, actually. Luna really just running away with this game number 5. Several nairs coming through with Megd on the sword, neutral at recovery. Luna yet to be touched. Sair hits him while he's sweating, and Megd has to swing just to be able to get back to the stage, and Luna, D-Light ground pound, almost gets the recovery. Blasters picked up. I was ready for that wake-up D-Light recovery there, but he doesn't get it. Instead gets the Dare Sair true combo from that angle.
Yeah, Taza, this is the last thing you want to see is seeing the guitar starting to work. He has been able to shut down the guitars the entire time, and now all of a sudden he has no answer.
This is the weapon for it, though. The scythe is the answer, and he was able to get on the ground.
That's true.
Have this here, and Luna realizing that goes, okay, I'm done with this. I don't want to fight guitars against scythe. I pick up the blasters. He's going to look for that D-Light finisher, and now he has to be careful. Okay, D-Light Slider doesn't even go for the execution test of the recovery. Had enough damage to do it.
Luna striking first here, getting the tone setter. That's what you needed to do. You saw how they both quickly tried to panic and get the weapon toss away to stop him from getting the blasters while he had Scythe out, because he knows he doesn't want Luna to get something started. But now, again, without Scythe in the hand, Luna's realized, I just have the way to play around this. And not only that, but he has refused to let him actually to play the game.
Weapon throw into pickup Nair into weapon throw again. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And it's like when Megd doesn't have a weapon, the guitars are absolutely the way to go. And Luna starved him for so long that finally a sword's picked up, but he's so deep into the orange already, and Luna is just going for Sair after Sair.
And finally, a sidelight comes through to give a little bit of reprieve for Megd, and Neutralizer going to come through as well. He had to fight really hard for that. He was taking a long time to get back down to the ground. Instead, baiting the idea he would go for the scythe, keeps the sword out because he's got him in D-Light recovery range. He wants to close this out ASAP.
Oh, and Megd getting hit by that Cider off the side of the stage. Now has the sword, falls through with that neutral light, goes in for the down light, goes for the recovery, and Luna goes in for that pickup on the guitars. Getting at the recovery, the neutral light comes through, the Nair hits as well.
Damage continuing to pile on here. The last thing you need right now is for Jiro to be looking at that deep red damage that Luna has been able to keep going. Luna trying to get a big punish, but it's going to be a recovery. No, actually just lets him rock. He waited a long time before he finally decided to do it.
All right, Megd has a mountain to climb. It's game 5, last stock. He hasn't taken a stock from Luna here, as after that quick little breather, he is just running away with the lead, both of the guitars and the blasters. Can he get this knockout here? He has to get untouched and then have a miracle stock like he talked about on the site.
Like I said, this is one of those, this is why I think this stage was where we ended up going, because if you're going to try and make a big play without going off stage the entire previous point of the set, make sure he can't run away from you underneath the stage. D-Light recovery will get the job done. I would not be surprised to see Megd kind of commit to the scythe to see if he can try and get one of those early steals.
And here's an opportunity. Luna goes deep off stage. A weapon spawns in, but Luna kicks his way through. Neutral light into, he gets picked up in the Dare. Here's a chance, Ajax.
This is a big, you have to capitalize anytime you have him off stage. That's the only way this is going to work. He gets back on, he gets side light. There we go.
Gravity cancel side light would have been huge. Luna jumps all the way around it. Megd looking for that Nair off the side of the stage, and Luna with the guitars. This is a vulnerability. Okay, goes over that Nair. Lots of hits coming through here. Even though Megd's on the scythe, Luna's still getting those neutral wins. One Sair comes through, side light comes through, dash forward, dash back. Dodge back, trying to get Luna to go for something so that he can punish it, and that Dare is there. All right, Ajax, Megd's getting a lot of wins and not getting hit back.
Yeah, it's been very good for him so far. He did immediately toss away those guitars before to get the blasters, and that Sair is going to send him off stage. Blasters are the weapon of choice. Megd does not have many more mistakes left. If he wants to keep himself in it, that Sair will do it, and that's going to be Luna who takes it. Game number 5, keeping that run alive. The #1 seed does not fall here at 7th place.
And once he got on those single plat stages, I'm telling you, the Dare side air combos from Luna on the blasters were phenomenal. It's a combo that opens up depending on where you hit the down air relative to the stage. The bounce off, the angle is perfect for that side air follow-up, and we saw him get that on Apocalypse.